The M1 steel helmet was more than just head protection. It became one of the most recognizable symbols of the American soldier during World War II. Introduced in 1941, the M1 replaced the outdated M1917 helmet and quickly proved itself across every battlefield of the war, from the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of the Pacific. Constructed from manganese steel, the helmet consisted of two main parts, the hardened steel outer shell and the removable fiber liner. This innovative two-piece design allowed soldiers to remove the liner and wear it separately for comfort in camp, while the steel shell could be used for carrying water, food, or even digging in emergencies. The primary purpose of the M1 helmet was not to stop direct bullet impacts, but to protect soldiers from shrapnel, falling debris, and blast fragments, some of the most common causes of battlefield injuries. In this role, the helmet saved thousands of lives. Artillery explosions, mortar fire, and aerial bombing made head protection absolutely essential in modern warfare. Inside, the helmet featured adjustable webbing suspension that helped distribute impact force and improved comfort during long marches. Early liners were made from compressed fiber, while later versions used plastic materials for increased durability. Soldiers often personalized their helmets with unit markings, camouflage netting, medical symbols, or religious inscriptions. In combat zones like Europe, soldiers added nets to hold foliage for camouflage. In the Pacific, many Marines and Army troops wore helmet covers to break up the helmet's silhouette in jungle terrain. Despite harsh conditions, rain, mud, heat, and snow, the M1 helmet proved rugged and reliable. The helmet also played a psychological role. Wearing it gave soldiers a sense of protection and readiness. Veterans later recalled feeling naked without it. Even after World War II, the M1 Garand rifle was the backbone of American infantry firepower during World War II and is often described as one of the greatest battle rifles ever made. Officially adopted in 1936, it became the standard service rifle of U.S. forces throughout the war. Unlike most other nations that relied on bolt-action rifles, American soldiers were equipped with a semi-automatic weapon. This meant faster follow-up shots, greater fire superiority, and increased survival in close combat. The Garand fired the powerful .3006 cartridge, capable of penetrating cover and maintaining accuracy at long distances. One of the rifle's most distinctive features was its 8-round end-block clip. When the last round was fired, the clip ejected with a sharp metallic ping. Though often mythologized as a battlefield giveaway, in real combat the sound was rarely noticed amid gunfire and explosions. The rifle's weight and length made it steady and accurate. Soldiers trusted it in all environments: European winters, desert sands, and Pacific humidity. It functioned reliably even when dirty, a crucial trait in wartime conditions. American infantry doctrine relied heavily on riflemen. The Garand allowed soldiers to maintain sustained fire while advancing or defending positions. Veterans frequently praised its stopping power and rugged construction. Maintenance was straightforward. Soldiers were trained to field strip and clean the rifle regularly. Proper care ensured reliability, and many rifles fired thousands of rounds without major issues. General George S. Patton, the M1911A1 pistol, served as the standard sidearm of the U.S. military during World War II. Designed decades earlier, it proved its effectiveness once again in the largest conflict in human history. Chambered in .45 ACP, the pistol delivered immense stopping power at close range. While not issued to every soldier, it was standard equipment for officers, tank crews, paratroopers, machine gun teams, and medics. The M1911A1 featured a single-action trigger, 7-round magazine, and rugged steel construction. Its design prioritized reliability over refinement. Soldiers trusted it to fire under extreme conditions: mud, sand, rain, and grime. In close-quarters combat, especially in urban fighting and jungle warfare, the pistol became a life-saving backup weapon. Tank crews relied on it when forced to abandon disabled vehicles. Paratroopers used it during chaotic airborne landings. Medics carried it for self-defense while tending the wounded. The pistol's recoil was strong but manageable, and its ergonomics were well suited to gloved or bare hands. Many soldiers developed deep confidence in the weapon, knowing it would function when needed most. Produced by multiple manufacturers during the war, the M1936 pistol belt was the foundation of the American soldier's combat load during World War II. While it may look simple, this belt was one of the most important pieces of equipment a soldier carried into battle. Made from heavy-duty olive drab canvas, the belt wrapped around the soldier's waist and served as the attachment point for nearly all essential gear. Ammunition pouches, canteens, first aid kits, bayonets, entrenching tools, and suspenders were all secured to this single item. The belt featured a series of metal grommets designed to accept standardized hooks, allowing soldiers to customize their load depending on mission requirements. This modular system gave American troops a logistical advantage, as equipment could be quickly added, removed, or rearranged. Comfort was critical. When worn with suspenders, the belt distributed weight evenly across the shoulders and hips, reducing fatigue during long marches. Soldiers in Europe often carried heavy ammunition loads, while those in the Pacific adjusted their belts for lighter, more mobile jungle operations. The belt's quick-release buckle allowed rapid removal in emergencies, such as river crossings or medical treatment. Despite exposure to rain, mud, sand, and sweat, the M1936 belt remained durable and dependable. In combat, everything a soldier needed was literally hanging from this belt. Without it, mobility, firepower, and survival were severely compromised. Though rarely celebrated, the M1936 pistol belt was the silent backbone of the American infantryman's fighting capability. The M1937 wool field uniform, worn by American soldiers throughout much of World War II. Designed for durability rather than comfort, it reflected the harsh realities of global warfare. Made primarily from wool, the uniform consisted of a wool shirt and matching trousers. Wool was chosen for its insulating properties. It retained warmth even when wet, a critical feature in cold and damp environments like Western Europe. However, the uniform had significant drawbacks. In hot climates such as North Africa or the Pacific, the wool trapped heat and moisture, causing discomfort and exhaustion. Soldiers often rolled up sleeves, removed undershirts, or modified their clothing to cope with extreme conditions. Despite its flaws, the uniform was tough. It resisted tearing, sparks, and rough use. Pockets were simple but functional, allowing soldiers to carry small personal items, maps, or rations. The uniform was often layered with additional gear: jackets, overcoats, leggings, and field packs. Mud, rain, sweat, and dust quickly stained the wool, giving soldiers a worn, battle-hardened appearance. As the war progressed, lessons learned from combat led to improvements, including the introduction of the M1943 uniform system. The M1943 field jacket represented a major evolution in American soldier clothing during World War II. Introduced after hard lessons from earlier campaigns, it was designed to be more practical, adaptable, and soldier-friendly. Unlike earlier jackets, the M1943 was intended as part of a layered system. It was worn over wool uniforms and under cold weather liners, making it suitable for a wide range of climates. This flexibility allowed soldiers to adjust their clothing based on weather and mission demands. The jacket featured 4 large front pockets with buttoned flaps, providing ample storage for maps, rations, gloves, or personal items. A drawstring waist allowed a tighter fit, improving warmth and reducing flapping fabric in windy conditions. Constructed from cotton sateen, the jacket was lighter and more breathable than previous designs. Its longer cut offered better protection against wind and rain, particularly in the cold European winters of late 1944 and 1945. Soldiers widely praised the M1943 jacket for its comfort and functionality. It became standard issue during the final stages of the war and remained in service long afterward. The M1943 field jacket marked a shift toward modern. The M1938 dismounted leggings were a standard part of the American soldier's uniform during World War II, especially among infantry units. Though often overlooked, these canvas leggings played an important role in protection, discipline, and battlefield practicality. Worn over the lower leg, from ankle to just below the knee, the leggings were secured using laces and straps. Their primary purpose was to keep mud, dirt, stones, insects, and debris out of the soldiers' boots. In wet or muddy terrain, this was essential for foot health and mobility. Foot injuries were a serious concern during the war. Trench foot, infections, and blisters could remove a soldier from combat without a single shot being fired. The leggings helped reduce these risks by sealing the gap between boot and trouser. The M1938 leggings were made from heavy olive drab canvas, tough enough to withstand rough terrain and repeated use. Soldiers marching across Europe often trudged through mud, snow, and rubble, and these leggings took constant abuse. However, they were not universally loved. In hot climates like the Pacific, soldiers found them uncomfortable and time-consuming to lace up. Many troops modified or discarded them when conditions allowed. Despite mixed opinions, the leggings remained standard issue throughout much of the war. They represent the U.S. Army's emphasis on discipline, uniformity, and long-term soldier endurance, rather than short-term comfort. The M1936 Musette bag was one of the most versatile pieces of equipment issued to American soldiers during World War II. Compact yet functional, it served as a lightweight carrying solution for essential gear. Originally designed for paratroopers, the Musette bag was later adopted by officers, medics, and specialized troops. It was worn high on the back and attached to the pistol belt using straps, keeping it secure during movement. The bag featured a large main compartment and smaller internal pockets for organizing rations, maps, ammunition, medical supplies, or personal items. Its design allowed quick access without removing the bag completely. In airborne operations, the Musette bag was crucial. Paratroopers needed their essential gear immediately after landing, often behind enemy lines. The bag ensured survival equipment stayed close and accessible. In conventional infantry units, the Musette bag was favored for patrols and short missions where a full pack was unnecessary. Soldiers appreciated its lighter weight and flexibility. The M1936 Musette bag symbolized adaptability. It reflected the growing understanding that soldiers needed scalable equipment, gear that could change based on mission length and terrain. The M1928 haversack was the primary field pack of the American infantryman during World War II. Designed to carry a soldier's essential supplies, it accompanied troops on long marches, assaults, and extended operations. The haversack was a complex piece of equipment made from durable canvas. It consisted of a main pack, a detachable meat can pouch, and straps that connected it to the pistol belt and suspenders. When worn correctly, it distributed weight across the soldier's body. Inside, soldiers packed rations, spare clothing, hygiene items, and cooking gear. The outer pouch carried the meat can, utensils, and sometimes extra ammunition. Everything needed for survival in the field was contained in this single pack. While functional, the M1928 haversack had its flaws. It was complicated to pack correctly, and improper loading could cause discomfort or imbalance. Soldiers often complained about its awkward design. Despite this, the haversack served reliably across all theaters of the war. It endured rain, mud, dust, and constant wear. For many soldiers, the pack became a symbol of long marches and hard service. Later in the war, simpler pack systems were introduced, but the M1928 haversack remained a defining piece of early and mid-war American infantry equipment. The M1 gas mask and its carrier bag were standard issue for American soldiers during World War II, even though chemical weapons were rarely used on the battlefield. Its presence reflected the deep fear shaped by World War I, where gas warfare had caused horrific casualties. The mask itself was made of rubberized material with clear eyepieces and a filter canister designed to protect against toxic gases. Soldiers were trained to don the mask quickly, often within seconds during drills that simulated gas attacks. The gas mask was carried in a canvas bag worn across the chest or hip. Regulations required soldiers to keep it close at all times, especially during early stages of the war. Failure to do so could result in punishment, as gas attacks were considered a real threat. Although gas was not widely deployed, the carrier bag often found secondary uses. Soldiers stored rations, ammunition, maps, letters, or personal items inside. In the European theater, many troops removed the mask entirely but kept the bag due to its convenience. The psychological effect of the gas mask was significant. Its very existence reminded soldiers of unseen dangers and the unpredictability of modern warfare. Training emphasized discipline and readiness, even for threats that never materialized. By late war, as the threat of gas warfare faded, gas masks became less commonly carried into frontline combat. Still, the M1 gas mask remains a powerful symbol of wartime preparedness and fear shaped by earlier conflicts. The M1910 canteen and cup were among the most essential items carried by every American soldier in World War II. No matter the weapon, uniform, or rank, water was critical for survival. The canteen was made of aluminum or stainless steel and held approximately 1 quart of water. It fit inside a canvas cover designed to provide insulation and protection. In colder climates, the cover helped prevent freezing. In hotter regions, it kept water slightly cooler. Attached directly to the pistol belt, the canteen was always within reach. Soldiers were trained to manage water carefully, especially during long marches or combat operations where resupply was uncertain. The metal cup nested around the base of the canteen and served multiple purposes. Soldiers used it to boil water, heat rations, prepare coffee, or even shave. In the field, the cup became a universal tool for daily life. In extreme environments like North Africa or the Pacific, water shortages were constant. Soldiers often rationed sips, sharing water among wounded comrades. The canteen was not just equipment, it was life itself. Despite its simple design, the M1910 canteen system proved so effective that similar designs remained in use for decades after the war. The M1941 entrenching tool, commonly known as the E-tool, was one of the most underestimated yet vital pieces of a World War II American soldier's kit. When under fire, digging could mean the difference between life and death. The tool consisted of a steel spade blade attached to a wooden handle and carried in a canvas cover on the pistol belt. Soldiers used it to dig foxholes, trenches, and fighting positions, often under enemy fire. Foxholes provided protection from bullets, shrapnel, artillery blasts, and explosions. Soldiers were trained to dig as soon as they halted, regardless of exhaustion. The phrase, "dig in," was literal and mandatory. Beyond digging, the entrenching tool had many secondary uses. Soldiers used it to clear debris, bury waste, create drainage, or even as a last resort close combat weapon in extreme situations. Digging was physically demanding, especially in frozen ground, rocky soil, or tropical terrain. Still, soldiers quickly learned that effort spent digging often saved lives during artillery bombardments. The E-tool symbolized survival through preparation. It represented the harsh reality that protection often came not from armor or weapons, but from earth and sweat.